Finding love is hard. It requires a ton of commitment to be considered attractive, and it's only gotten tougher with how isolated we've become. Upon realizing this, a couple of programmers got together and made dating apps, a perfectly flawless and effective method of finding the one. In just a few quick swipes, you could be talking to the most beautiful woman in the world, but what if she doesn't match her pictures? That, my friends, is called catfishing. And we have this documentary to thank for coining that term. In 2008, directors Henry Joost and Ariel Schulman filmed Ariel's brother Yaniv getting to know a family online. None of them could have predicted how things would turn out. Catfish premiered at the Sundance Film Festival on January 22nd, 2010. Some were skeptical of whether it was real or not, including Morgan Spurlock of all people, but it was undeniable a hit. A production company named Rogue Pictures would acquire the distribution rights, and in September of that year, it got a limited theatrical release. The movie wound up grossing $3.5 million against a $30,000 budget. The trio would capitalize by adapting it to an MTV show that is still going on to this day. It's quite impressive how a movie with such a tiny budget could go this far. It has been 17 years since the events took place, and 5 years since my first viewing of the film. It was for my film appreciation class in high school. Thank God it was online so my ADHD ass could answer the questions with the movie playing. I thought it'd be quite novel to rewatch it and see just how much the internet, hell, society has changed. Without further ado, here is Catfish. It starts with the Universal logo being represented by Google Earth. I love when movies do this, that's how you know it's gonna be good. But my hopes are slightly dashed by the Arial font title having poor contrast. We get introduced to Nev Schulman, who goes by Nev in this story. He is a 24-year-old photographer from New York City, and his work was recently featured in the news. He ended up getting sent a painting of one of his pictures from a small town in Michigan. The artist is Abby, an 8-year-old girl who is exceptional at painting. The two quickly become good friends online. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Why is a 24-year-old befriending an 8-year-old? That is weird. Okay, maybe in 2008, back when the internet was newer and not filled with as many this didn't raise eyebrows. I guess I really am just poisoned by my main channel because the interactions here are entirely harmless. After a couple months of chatting, Henry and Ariel, who is nicknamed Rel, decide to document this friendship. Assuming they didn't know what would come up later, what about this warranted filming? Kinda suspicious. Abby's mom Angela talks with Nev over the phone about her daughter's paintings. Nev quickly befriends her too, as well as her husband Vince, and then Abby's half-brother Alex and half-sister Megan. Megan is an artist, dancer, veterinarian, and musician. She quickly develops a crush on Nev, making a painting and some songs for him. Recently, she bought a farmhouse with 6 chickens, 3 horses, and a baby goat. It's not long before the two start e-dating. Nev gets a package that uses paper towels for padding. Who does that? Surely styrofoam would be much cheaper. He's been sent one of Abby's paintings. Apparently her way of proving it's authentic is by spitting in the watercolors and putting strands of her hair in them. That way it contains her DNA. What the fuck? Also, Nev decapitated the guy from that one Radiohead album. Everyone in this movie is a psychopath. During a montage, Nev photoshops a nude picture of Megan next to a nude picture of himself, titling it someday.jpg. This feels like something an obsessive stalker would do. Was this really considered romantic back in 2008? Nev and friends go on a business trip to Colorado. He tells his Facebook oomps that they're welcome to come over themselves to visit, even though it's nowhere near their proximity. Megan starts accepting song commissions by Nev, while Rel acts like the concept of doing favors is some groundbreaking discovery.
This is fun. You can just request paintings for Abby to do and songs for Megan to sing.
Nev does some digging and finds out that uh-oh, Megan has been using other people's recordings. She tries to excuse it by saying they're covers and supposed to sound similar, but the jig is already up. If she's willing to lie about her music, then what else could be fabricated? The trio agrees to dive deeper into this rabbit hole. Nev acknowledges that he's never gotten to talk to Abby over the phone. Conveniently, she would always be asleep. Googling her name yields nothing related to art. Supposedly, her parents bought a building and renovated it into Abby's gallery, but a quick search shows that it's still up for sale. Holy shit, does Abby even exist? Nev is so anxious to find answers that while speaking to Angela, Can you keep that behind closed doors? Eventually, though, Nev gets to call Abby on her birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. I got a kitty down to my birthday.
But not for long.
Bye.
What'd you say?
She has people here. I'm sorry.
That only raises more questions. At this point, there's only one way to get closure. Visit them IRL. So they fly from Colorado to Illinois, then begin a 371-mile drive to Michigan. Why not just fly to Michigan? The trio's first stop is Megan's farm. They know she has to stay there tonight because one of her horses is giving birth. But once they reach the building, it is completely empty. No animals, no people, nothing. Now Megan's existence is called into question. Nev did exchange postcards with her from this address. So if she isn't real, there's someone driving all the way up to a random address for mail. That would be dedication. At a motel, Nev reads off ERP messages he exchanged.
Hey babe, I couldn't understand a word you said on the VM. You just left me. I just kicked everyone out and now I'm in the bathtub thinking of you. I can't wait to feel my fingers with your hair and turn your back to me, pulling you up against me and running my tongue all the way up your neck, biting your ears as I fill my hands with your breasts.
Dude, you're gonna suffocate. Get out of there. Get out! There's no air! The next day, they drive to Angela's house. She and Vince take a noticeably long time to answer the door. They end up looking quite different from their Facebook pictures. It's okay, we're all guilty of this. Abby and Megan aren't at the house, but Ronald and Anthony, Vince's two disabled children, are. Angela unexpectedly reveals that she has uterine cancer and is beginning chemotherapy. She tries to call Megan to let her know that Nev is here, but gets no response. Then they all drive up to Abby's friend's house to meet her. Abby is indeed a real person, but her friend says that she rarely paints at all and that Angela does most of it. When asked about Megan, Abby says she never gets to see her and doesn't even know what she looks like anymore. Anymore could imply that she's seen her before though. Nev and friends start debating on if Angela is Megan. That would mean she's using two different phones under two different numbers to play two different characters. And what about the pictures of Megan? Where could she have gotten them from? The plot is truly thickening. Megan texts Nev saying she'll come over the next day, but in the morning she changes her mind and reveals she's going to rehab for her drinking. It's because of this that she had to put the farm up for sale, which explains why nobody was there. One of her Facebook friends confirms this, but Nev suspects that Angela is also playing the role of this Facebook friend. Once confronted, Angela confesses the truth. She's behind the accounts of Megan and all of her friends. While Megan is a real person according to her, she's been away in rehab for several months. The girl in the pictures though isn't Megan, it's one of Angela's close friends. And yes, she used two different phones to call Nev as both Angela and Megan. It's also confirmed that Abby's paintings were actually Angela's. She wanted to have a career in art, but had to give it up to look after Vince's disabled twins. It could have been worse.
Why do you think that he does that?
It's so stimulating, you know, it's just really retarded.
Jesus. This network of characters was an outlet for her to rediscover old hobbies. Vince fully supported these endeavors, as it was her way of making money as a starving artist. He then tells us a story about fish. When exporting cod, they used to use boring, desolate tanks. Once they reached their destination, the fish turned mushy and tasted horrible. So to ensure the quality of the Call of Duty fish, they kept them engaged by putting catfish into the tanks. Angela kept Nev and friends engaged for months on end, and that is why it's called a catfish. I thought it'd be more related to the whole impersonation thing, but okay. But before the credits roll, the film has one last set of bombshells to drop. First, Angela lied about having cancer. Second, Megan doesn't exist. Period. Third, Angela didn't know the girl she was using as Megan. It was some model from Washington named Amy Gonzalez. After filming, Angela deleted all of the fake Facebook accounts and opened an art website as her authentic self. One of Vince's sons would also unfortunately pass away. To end off the film, Nev flexes that he has 732 friends on Facebook. You ain't shit, pal. So that was Catfish. While in some regards it's a product of its time, it still was an insane story that kept me on the edge of my seat. But the question on everyone's mind is, was any of it real? That's debatable. A lot of details about Angela's life are confirmed to be true. But on the other hand, these guys were working in media. Shouldn't they have known to research people before meeting them? I imagine it's in the category of real but heavily exaggerated. They probably knew something was up early on, but pretended to be shocked on camera. Whatever the case may be, I still had a pretty good time.